Hi everyone, my name is Shauna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be giving you my birthday book haul. So to start off, when I'm filming this, my birthday was just yesterday actually, so some of these books are kind of like very new to me, very fresh, and some of these books have been sitting waiting for this video because I bought them for myself as a little bit of a treat yourself moment, probably 2 weeks ago. So they've been sitting waiting for me to film this and be able to get these up on my TBR shelf. So to start off, I'm going to go through some of the like bookish related items that I got, then get into all the books. And I remember someone asked to see what my cat looked like in the comment section of one of my previous videos. So I actually am going to include a little clip here or here, wherever I have my room, of my cat, because I feel like it's time for you to see my little Yuki cat. So yeah, my cat's name is Yuki, Yuki, which stands for snow in Japanese. And she's an all white cat, so you'll very quickly realize why we named her that. But fun fact, we actually named her because of haiku. So in the anime haiku, which is about like high school volleyball, there's a team called Nekoma from like Nekoma, like high, and Neko means cat in Japanese. So we actually just looked on the team and we were like, oh, we're just going to pick our cat's name from the cat team of our favorite show that we watched together. And we loved the name Yuki. And then we realized when we looked it up that Yuki actually means snow in Japanese. So little fun fact, not relevant to this video, regardless. We're gonna get into it. So yeah, this is a mix of gifts from my family, from my friends, stuff that I've bought myself, thrifted, bought, everything, like all of it, full mix. So grab a cup of tea, which I am currently drinking from my Gudetama mug, because fun fact, I love Gudetama. It's the funniest little dude to me. So I have peppermint tea, light a candle. I've currently got burnt toffee and pumpkin going, and we will get right into this. So first off, the most fun, I got actually a couple gift cards from some family members, which I'm very thankful for, so I can do a little bit of a purchase, a little bit of another haul in the future. But yeah, I definitely want to do a come shopping with me video with these, so that would be really nice. And I got a new candle, so I have been burning this one this season. I'm making my way slowly but surely through this, but I knew I needed another one before it was too late. So I got sprinkled donut and vanilla latte, and it honestly smells so friggin' good. And whoever the like product designer is, this is phenomenal. Like fun, this is like silicone. Like this is so nicely made. Anyway, the candle is huge. It smells so freaking sweet and delicious, and you get this like cute little tag that you can pull off, and I'm gonna use as like, I don't know, like an ornament on my Christmas tree this year. Anyway, great branding, great product, love the smell of it, so excited. And I also bought for myself a new puzzle. So I usually get these from Book Outlet because they're not that expensive. They're like $8, I think, for one. So yes, I got a 1,000-piece puzzle from the company Workman Puzzle. Yeah, it's really pretty, and it just says, "Let the sun shine in." The colors are really pretty. It's honestly just stunning, and I have done puzzles by this company before, and they're really nice. So excited to have another one in my collection. Now for some more very like book related things, but just kind of a pivot. My partner actually bought me the coloring book, the official coloring book for Spy X Family, or Spy Family. I say the X. Am I nuts for saying the X? I'm like, anyway, Spy Family, Spy X Family, Spy Family. Doesn't matter. So this is the coloring book, and you can just kind of see it's adorable, it's precious, it's so sweet. I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. And in that vein, Spy Family, volume 12. He also picked me this, my partner also picked this up for me, and I am so excited. If you don't watch Spy Family, or you haven't read it yet, honestly get into it. It is lovely, it is humorous, it is light, it is funny, it is everything, and it is about a family who is made up of dad, Lloyd, who is a spy, a wife, Yor, who is an assassin, and Anya, who is a telepath, along with their dog, Bond, who can see the future. So it's very cute, very funny, very wacky, such a good time. And we are currently on volume 12. Now, for like like some heavy hitters. I won't lie, this was insane. My partner also picked me up Sally Rooney's new book, Intermezzo. You know, when you're like, I really struggle. This is another fun fact about me because I'm doing that today. I really struggle to read all caps letters. I like lowercase is more accessible, but yeah, all caps makes it really, really difficult for me to read. Intermezzo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right and not embarrassing myself. Sally Rooney's new book. Cannot wait. So excited. We follow Peter is a Dublin lawyer in his 30s, successful, competent, and apparently unassailable. But in the wake of his father's death, he's meditating himself to sleep and struggling to manage his relationships with two very different women. His enduring first love, Sylvia, and Naomi, a college student from whom life is one long joke. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. And also, whoever designed the cover again, stunning. Okay, again, I have to move along because I swear this is going to be a long video otherwise. So take a tea break. Next up, we have Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. So he's actually taken a break from the Thursday Murder Club series to write this other series, which is around a like family business around solving murders between like the like dad and his like daughter-in-law. So we have Steve enjoying retired life, still does the odd bit of investigation work, but he prefers his familiar routines. A pub quiz, his favorite bench, his cat waiting for him at home. His days of adventure are over. Adrenaline is daughter-in-law Amy's job now. And then we have Amy, who thinks adrenaline is good for the soul. Working in private security every day is dangerous. She's currently on a remote island protecting mega best-selling author Rosie D'Antonio until a dead body and a bag of money mean trouble in paradise. So she sends an SOS to the only person she trusts. As a thrilling race around the world begins, can Amy and Steve outrun and outsmart a killer? I'm so excited. I love Richard Osman. Phenomenal writer. Can't believe we have another one already in our hands. So looking forward to it. This one I actually picked up from my library for free. They just have a few copies that they don't need anymore. They have maybe a little bit of damage kind of on the pages or on the spine, a little bit ripped up. Honestly, this one actually genuinely could be a little worse for wear. Like, it's really in good condition. And it is called Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francisca Morel. So inspiring and comforting, this book will give you the life-changing tools to uncover your personal ikigai. I'm really struggling today. It will show you how to leave urgency behind, find your purpose, nurture friendships, and throw yourself into your passions. So I'm excited with this book. This has always been on my TBR list, and I happened to find a free copy, so I picked it up. Next up, we have The Distance Between Us by Raina Grande. This is, in these pages, Raina Grande vividly brings a life of childhood torn between two parents and two countries. As her parents make the dangerous trek across the U.S.-Mexican border in pursuit of the American dream, Raina and her siblings are left behind in the care of their stern grandmother, who to suffer the stigma of being little orphans. When their long-absent father at last returns, Raina makes her own journey across the very border that has separated her family for years, risking her life to finally have what she has always yearned for, a home. The Distance Between Us captures the confusions and contradictions of childhood, reminding us of the joys and sorrows we experience that are imprinted on our heart forever. Really, really looking forward to this. I actually read from this author in another collection, which is Somewhere We Are Human. She was one of the editors for that, and she also wrote a piece in it. And ever since I read that piece from the book, I knew I wanted to pick up something a little bit longer by her. So when I saw this book on Book Outlet, I knew I had to grab it. So looking forward to it. And up next we have Lanny by Max Porter, and this is all thanks to Ellen from Ellen Made Book Club. She actually had this, I think, recently in a book haul, and I saw her talk about this, and it sounded so interesting. Max Porter is also the author of Grief is a Thing with Feathers. I think that's the other book that he wrote. Sorry, Grief is the Thing with Feathers. And that's a book that I always see and I've always been tempted to pick up, but I'd never kind of bit the bullet. And then I saw this one, and like I said, Ellen had mentioned it and it sounded really good, so I decided to pick this up. I'm kind of going into this a little bit blind, so I almost don't want to read the synopsis. There's a village an hour from London. It's no different from any other. There's a pub, there's a church, red brick cottages, some public housing. This village belongs to the people who live in it, to the land and the land's ancient past. It also belongs to dead Papa Toothwort, a mythical figure that school children used to draw with leafy tendrils growing out of his mouth, who awakens after a glorious nap. I don't want to read any more than that because I know this is going to be weird and wacky. Excited. Up next is a classic. This is A Room of One's Own and Three Guineas by Virginia Woolf. I also got this from Book Outlet. It was fairly inexpensive. I'm not a huge classic girly. I don't tend to pick them up a lot, but I knew this was one I wanted to pick up because people have always spoken about A Room of One's Own as stream of conscious writing, where it's just kind of, you're like, I'm stuck in this woman's brain and I have no idea what's happening. Why is she even writing this? What's going on? I kind of feel like I'm going to vibe with that. I don't know what it is about the fall season. I don't know what it is about my mindset right now, but I'm like, stream of consciousness sounds like really, really appealing. And I know this is one of those books that people say is just like that. So I wanted to give it a go. And apologies for the shininess. It's the cover and it's reflecting my laptop and my camera. But yeah, I'm excited. This is a classic. Everyone knows Virginia Woolf. I've actually never read from her before, so this will be my first taste of her writing. Then we have A Tidy Ending by Joanna Cannon. This says, Linda has lived in a quiet neighborhood since fleeing the dark events of her childhood in Wales. Her husband Terry is imperfect. He picks his teeth, tracks dirt through the house, spends most of his time in front of the TV. Linda wonders if this is all there is. Pushing the vacuum around, frying fish sticks for dinner is a far cry from the glorious lifestyle she sees in the glossy magazines coming through the mail slot addressed to the previous occupant, Rebecca Finch. If only Linda could find and befriend Rebecca, maybe some of that enviable lifestyle would rub off on her, and she wouldn't worry too much about Terry, who is keeping odd hours around the same time that the local young women start to go missing. But the grass isn't always greener, and some secrets can't stay buried forever. Really, really excited for this. Also, I don't know if people recognize this because it definitely does have a different cover either in the UK or like US, Canada. This cover is 10 times better. I do actually want to put up the cover that I'm thinking of my mind, and I'm like, I literally would probably, my eyes glaze over every time I see this. This is funky. I like this. I'm super excited for this, and I feel like this will be good for like a little spooky mystery time. Up next, I have The Hand That First Held Mine by Maggie O'Farrell. Maggie O'Farrell is an instant buy author for me. I absolutely love her. Hamnet is like an all-time favorite of mine. Marriage Portrait I thought was very, very good. And then I Am, which is 17 Brushes with Death. Also really, really good. Anyways, her writing is phenomenal. It'll sweep you up and it'll just absolutely engulf you, and it's amazing. So this one is Lexi Sinclair cannot wait for her life to begin. Hedged in by her parents' genteel country life, she escapes to London and takes up with a magazine editor, Innes Kent, thriving amid the artists and writers of the post-war Soho, and when she finds herself pregnant, she doesn't hesitate to have the baby on her own. 50 years later, in present-day London, a painter named Alana dizzily navigates the first weeks of motherhood with her boyfriend Ted, who finds fatherhood calling up lost memories that don't match his family's stories. As Ted's memories become more disconcerting and more frequent, it seems that something might connect these two women, something that becomes all the more breathtaking and beautiful as they all hurtle toward its revelation. The Hand That First Held Mine is a gorgeous, tenderly wrought story about the ways in which beauty and love bind us together and how even our most accidental legacies connect us. Really excited for this. This is... can't wait. Next, I have Biography of X by Catherine Lacey. This one, I will say the cover is bold. Very, very red. I love memoirs. I love biographies. I love fiction. And the fact that this is kind of a mix of that, where it's like you get to do a deep dive into a character, into a person, into their life, their relationships, the conflicts, every turmoil they've ever experienced, but you as the author get to make that up. You could create whoever you want. So it's like, who do you create? Who do you make? And how do you kind of, you know what I mean? Like get pieces like this where it's like this mixed media, like there's interviews and there's photos and there's notes and all sorts. So it's a biography, but it's of like a fictional character. At least that's my understanding. I will say that is my understanding. But when X, an artist, writer, and polarizing shapeshifter, falls dead in her office, her widow, CM, hurls herself into writing a biography of the woman she defied. On the quest to find out where X was born, CM instead opens a Pandora's box of secrets, betrayals, and destruction. All the while, she immerses herself in the history of Southern Territory, a fascist theocracy. What? Theocracy? Sorry. You know when you're having like one of those days? It's like one of those days for me, theocracy, that split from the rest of the country after World War II, and which finally in the present day is being forced into an uneasy reunification. A masterfully constructed literary adventure complete with original images assembled by X's widow. Biography of X follows CM as she traces X's trajectory over decades and through her collaborations and feuds from everyone from Bowie and Waits and Sontag and Acker. At last, when she finally understands the scope of X's defining artistic project, CM realizes her wife's deceptions are far more crueler than she imagined. Pulsing with suspense and intellect while blending nonfiction and fiction, Biography of X is a roaring epic that plumbs the depths of grief, art, and love. You could not sell a book more. So excited. My stack is about to fall over down here, so that means it's time for a sip of tea before that tumbles. I'm also a little bit nervous being this close to my mic when I sip tea, where I'm like, is it kind of nice? Like, are people like, oh, like flipping pages and sipping tea? It's like ASMR. I wanted to say AMSR. ASMR. What is happening? Anyway, you know what I mean. Okay, next book, also from Book Outlet, is The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. This is The Hexologist. Isobel and Warren Willoughby are quite accustomed to helping desperate clients with the bugbears of city life. Aided by hexes and a bag of charmed relics, the Willoughbys are well acquainted with the weird, and they never shy away from a challenging case. But when they are approached by the royal secretary and told that the king pleads to be baked into a cake, going so far as to wedge himself inside of a lit oven, the Willoughbys soon find themselves embroiled in a mystery that could very well see the nation turned on its head. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to read any more. I am so jazzed about this. Gives me the same vibes as Robert Jackson Bennett's The Tainted Cup. And I rated The Tainted Cup like 5 stars. Like, I loved The Tainted Cup because I just loved the fantasy world, the like Sherlock Watson kind of relationship. Like, it was just such a jam. And if this is even a fraction of like that, I'm going to have a good time. All right, we're down to the final few. So fun fact, my partner and I, at the end of September, went to Scotland. We went to Edinburgh for like a week, and we went all around, and I found some bookshops and I picked up some books. I couldn't stop myself. I had a little bit of room in my personal bag to carry back home, so I picked up 3 books. And this is one of them, which is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. This is, of course, the classic English ghost story. So we have Arthur Kipps, a junior solicitor, is summoned to attend the funeral of Mrs. Alice Derblow, the sole inhabitant of the Eel Marsh house. The house stands at the end of the causeway, wreathed in fog and mystery, but it is not until he glimpses a wasted young woman dressed in all black at the funeral that a creeping sense of unease begins to take hold, a feeling deepened by the reluctance of the locals to talk about the woman in black and her terrible purpose. Love. Can't wait. This is going to be my spooky read. I'm definitely going to read this on Halloween or like just before Halloween. Can't wait. It's going to be a vibe. And the next book I got from the same shop, which was like a little secondhand charity shop in the city center, was Un London by China Miéville. Un London is at war. We're under attack. and it's been written for centuries that you will come and save us. I don't need to know more than that. The little illustration on the top here is so funky to me. Like, I'm loving this little garbage dude. I read this author's other book. This is like middle grade YA, and I read his adult book, The City in the City. That book is weird. That book is funky. That book is confusing. That book also snuck its way into my heart. I don't know what it is about that book, but I vibe with it, and I really, really like China's writing. So I was excited to find a copy of this for so cheap, and also kind of like a YA middle grade. So I feel like, again, that kind of confusing element that I was really struggling with for a while will hopefully not be as strong in this, and I will just have a good time start to finish. Okay, folks, we're in the final stretch here. Actually, one more tea break, because this has got to be the longest video I've ever filmed. Holy smokes. Okay, we have Hex by Jenny Fagan. It is the 4th of December, 1591. On this, the last night of her life, in a prison cell several floors below Edinburgh's High Street, convicted witch Gillis Duncan receives a mysterious visitor, Iris, who says she comes from a future where women are still prosecuted for who they are and what they believe. As the hours pass and dawn approaches, Gillis recounts the circumstances of her arrest, brutal torture, confession, and trial, while Iris offers support, solace, and the tantalizing prospect of escape. Hex is a visceral depiction of what happens when a society is consumed by fear and superstition, exploring how the terrible force of the king's violent crusade against ordinary women can still be felt right up to the present day. This is going to be powerful. This is a short little book, but I have heard such phenomenal things about this book, and if memory serves me, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Gillis Duncan is a character in Outlander. Like this character, this woman's character, was supposed to be based off of her. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that's true. But also, I was on a tour, like we were on a bus tour, my partner and I, for our trip in Edinburgh, because we went out west to see the Highlands. And the bus driver, whatever, is taking us around. We're going through, and they start to tell this story, which is that witches were prosecuted in Scotland for like hundreds of years, which is so shocking, because when everybody talks about the Salem witch trials, they don't give the context that the Salem witch trials happened for like a year in the United States, whereas witch prosecution in Scotland happened for hundreds of years, like hundreds, for numerous reasons, including if you were basically a woman who had any knowledge of like medicinal like herbs, if you were born left-handed, if you had red hair, if you had green eyes, like any of those things would have instantly made you suspect of being a witch, which by law they could have killed you for. It was insane, and it didn't happen for a year, it happened for hundreds of years. Anyway, really looking forward to this book. I think this is going to be really impactful, and I have wanted to pick this up for years, and I finally got my hands on a copy when I was in the UK. Last but not least is a book that I picked up for myself when I was in a little shop, and it is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Balder. This is, of course, I want to say prequel. I honestly don't know if it's a prequel to Legends and Lattes or just part of the same world. Correct me if I'm wrong. Viv is a young, battle-hungry orc, and her career with the notorious mercenary company isn't going as planned. Wounded during the hunt for a powerful necromancer, she is packed off against her will to recuperate in the sleepy beach town of Merk, so far from the action that she worries she'll never be able to return to it. What's a thwarted soldier of fortune to do? Spending her hours in a begrudged bookshop in the company of a foul-mouthed proprietor is the last thing Viv would have predicted, but it may be what they both need, and it seeds the changes that she couldn't possibly imagine. Still, adventure isn't that far away. A suspicious traveler in grey, a gnome with a chip on her shoulder, a summer fling, and an improbable member of skeletons proves Merk to be more eventful than Viv could have ever expected. I read Legends and Lattes. I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid. It wasn't like my favorite book by any stretch of the imagination, and it didn't, because I don't necessarily love cozy fantasy when I am like a high stakes high fantasy girl. Like you somebody needs to die at the end of this book for this to feel like impactful for me, and cozy fantasy is just like Should I go here today or not here today? Oh, this is kind of fun. Oh, my life used to be so crazy. Like, I don't know what it is about cozy fantasy. I was just not like, again, the book was fine, but it wasn't my favorite. But I'm really hoping that the setting of this book, with the bookshops and the scrolls and the atmosphere and quills and writing, like, I'm just really hoping that the atmosphere and the environment in this one makes me love cozy fantasy a little bit more, because obviously if you put me in a library, I'm 10 times more likely to vibe with the book. If you put me anywhere near other books, I love books on books, books in books, books about books. It's that simple. I'm a simple girl. Yeah, that's it. Those are all the books I bought, all the bookish things that I got, all the books that I got for my birthday. I have been so fortunate with everything that I got, with the purchases that I made. I've been truly so blessed for my birthday this year. So I'm beyond thankful, and I'm appreciative to my family and friends for getting it, and for just being there for me for my birthday. It's really, really lovely. So I will leave it at that, because I should probably blow out this candle and go kiss my little kitty goodnight. It is fall, so it's definitely getting darker faster. I won't lie. I will have to be very conscious when I'm filming these videos, because I can tell the lighting is a bit funky, because I'm trying to use overhead lighting from my kitchen into my living room, and the living room light, like the actual window, the bay window, there's not a lot of light coming in, won't lie. It's not that bright out. So hopefully the lighting is okay for this video. Hopefully the audio is okay for this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video soon. Take care. Bye.